something happening here, but what it is ain't exactly clear.
Okay, so now we're going to move into the first century writings. Remember, the context is they're waiting on God to fulfill the promise to restore Israel, to bring back the tribes. So the angel Gabriel appears, and he says in Matthew 1:21, speaking of Mary, she will bear a son, you shall call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins. So actually, Jesus would be Yeshua in Hebrew, which means salvation. So that's cool. He'll save his people from their sins. So what does that mean to a first century Jew? Remember the context. They're waiting on the Messiah to come to regather Israel. Why was Israel scattered? Because they disobeyed God. Deuteronomy 28:15. They transgressed his law, and sin is transgression of the law. We know this by the New Testament. And because they broke his law and his commandments, they sinned. All the curses came upon them of Deuteronomy 28, including 64. The Lord will scatter you among all people from one end of the earth even to the other. So to a first century Jew, he will save his people from their sins. They're not thinking the way we do 2,000 years later in a Christian mindset. They're thinking the Messiah who's going to come and restore Israel. Luke, he announces to Mary, behold, you'll conceive and you'll bear a son. His name will be Yeshua, salvation. He'll be great. He'll be called the Son of the Most High. The Lord God will give him the throne of his father David, and he will reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom will have no end. So again, in Mary's mind, she hears he will reign over the house of Jacob, and his kingdom will have no end. She's going to be thinking Isaiah 49, like we mentioned earlier in the previous videos, that they're waiting for the Messiah who's going to come and regather Israel. Though Israel be not gathered, yet I shall be glorious in the eyes of the Lord, and my God shall be my strength. And he said, is it a light thing that you should be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob? You can't rule over the house of Jacob if the house of Jacob doesn't exist. See, the house of Jacob is all 12 tribes of Israel. So the announcement of the birth of Yeshua flows right along with the first century context.